Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We are all George. Today, another good day. Bitcoin continues to rally, and so do the altcoins. The altcoins are rallying up in a big way. So today, I have a lot to share with you guys, including one chart that shows you exactly what the Bitcoin whales are doing, what the big bulls, the big buyers, the ones that behind the scenes, what they're doing and why we need to mimic it. Because there's good reason for what they're doing. But overall, I think today is a fantastic day. I know you guys are feeling excited, so am I. Had a great session last night for those of you guys that tuned in. In case you don't know and you're new to the channel, there are 2 streams every day, 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, and follow me on Twitter and Facebook. All right, guys, those of you guys are ready here, welcome. Let's do this. And let me change my screen. Okay, here we go. So looking at Bitcoin, it's above 54,000. Now, it was a little bit higher, almost at 55, but we'll take it. We'll take it. After being stuck under 51, seemingly felt like forever, but was really only 2 weeks. Now we have broken above, and Bitcoin is at 54,000. Let's just round up $300. It is above 1 trillion again in market cap, and Bitcoin looks like just wants to keep going and going and going. And the next stop will probably be right around here, about 58,000, our previous high, and then keep going. 60,000, 70,000. 80,000, 90,000. I mean, I've been showing you guys about, these next leg ups, right? How they've been pretty much doubling from the previous low from the previous month. So if our low is $43,000, you double that, that's most likely where we're going to go. So that's right around 90,000, a little bit under that. So I do think that could be around the corner. And of course, we have the stimulus package that passed, and most Americans that are eligible will get that pretty soon, right? But in addition, there's just a lot of things going on. So much bullish news. That's why, the last few weeks wasn't really anything. And I kept encouraging you guys to look at the bigger picture, what the bigger players and whales are doing. And I'll show you a chart that shows that exactly what they've been doing and why Bitcoin is so darn strong and why no one should be fearful at Bitcoin at 43,000, 45,000, 50,000, and now at 54,000, right? Things are right back on track. San, okay. All right, so looking at CMC real quick. Bitcoin is above $1 trillion overall market cap, nearing 1.7 trillion. That's almost an increase of 7% day to day. And you got big caps like Binance coin. That is up a staggering 18% today. Told you guys don't sleep on Binance coin. And also Polkadot up a staggering 10%. So you have a lot of movers today. NFTs are still hot. Binance Smart Chain stuff is hot. Big caps are hot. I mean, there's a lot of things that's hot right now. A lot of things that are hot. All right, so let me get to this article. So this is interesting. Bitcoin whales bought the dip as orders for 100K or more hit all-time highs. So that's, man, if you look at this, it's good and it's bad. It's almost disappointing in a way, and here's why. I know there's a lot. It's kind of small, but just know that the blue line is Bitcoin's price. And then all these, okay, all these other lines are going down. Those are buy orders of $100 to $1,000, $1,000 to $10,000, $10,000 to $100,000. And you know what? They're just all going down. Down, 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 down. Those are the orders that normal retail investors would be making. Okay, and then the purple line and the brown line, those are orders that's 100,000 to 1 million and then million plus. Can you spot the difference? So these are orders from whales, institutional investors or rich investors, whoever they may be. And then you look at the retail investors, right? So this is good and bad. The good thing is the whales, the institutional investors, you can count Michael Saylor in there. You can count all these big hedge funds and public trade companies, even though they do a lot of OTC sales. Some of that may flow into exchanges. And I don't even know if this is just spot exchanges. This could be everything. But if you look at this, what they're doing is buying and buying and buying and buying. They finally got it. The light bulb clicked, right? They realized that Bitcoin is the real deal. They missed out on so much of it. They missed out on the 3,000s or the 1,000s or hundreds before, right? So they are trying to catch up in a big way. And they have a lot of money to be able to buy basically as much as they can. Now, they've been accumulating, but it's escalating. You could see that this is going up much more. The unfortunate thing is most retail investors now are looking at the dollar value of Bitcoin, seeing how it's 50,000 plus, and they're less interested in that because they think it's too high or it's topped out, which is why you see all these lines go down and down and down because less and less people are trying to buy Bitcoin. So a lot of them are buying altcoins, and there's nothing wrong with that. But here's the thing, though. Why do you think these institutional guys, these whales, are buying Bitcoin? Why do you think they only really buy Bitcoin at this point? Well, think about it. Because Bitcoin has a set supply. It's finite. So you look at, there's only 900 Bitcoins produced per day. There's only 2.4 million Bitcoins left. There's 18.6 out in existence, but really 4 or 5 million of that is lost. So almost 90% of all Bitcoins are mined out. There's just not that many. There's not that many. All this, the 2.4 million left to be mined, is spoken for. You have all these whales that are buying nonstop, including Michael Saylor, and you have companies like PayPal that is buying way more than 900 per day, and you have others that are buying behind the scenes. And you notice that this list I've been showing you guys, Bitcoin treasuries, this list keeps growing, and most of the companies on here didn't really exist outside a year ago. Most of these came on within the last year, and they are buying and buying and buying and buying and buying because they realize that there is a really, really small circulating supply out there. The supply is capped. And imagine one day when we get to the point where there is no more, or there's so little coming out that basically it's impossible to get. And those that even have 1 Bitcoin or 0.1 Bitcoin, or even now there's reports to even have 0.01 Bitcoin, will put you in the upper echelon of the ultra rich. You know, that's where it's going. That's why everyone, you know, all these big whales, they're not stupid. They continue to buy, right? So the good news about that is that's why Bitcoin is not coming down. It's so stable, despite the fact you have maybe F2 Pool or whoever that is still trying to dump. You know what? All these guys are like, okay, thank you. I'll buy some cheap Bitcoins. And they continue to basically buy and hold Bitcoin up, and Bitcoin continues to go higher and higher and higher. But the disappointing thing is I feel like too many retail investors, they feel like the gains are not as much, or, you know, it's just too high. I don't want to own 0.01 of Bitcoin. I'd rather have like 1,000 XRP or something like that. But that's not the way to think about it. Bitcoin still has a lot of legs left. I think it's still at least 10x to get to 500,000. And most people now feel like it's going to go way beyond 1 million. So that's 20, 30, 50x. That's still left on the table. And who knows where it's going to end up, right? Every single person is talking about Bitcoin. Countries. Countries, the biggest Wall Street people, hedge funds, you know, pension funds, family offices, public trade companies. Everyone wants a piece of Bitcoin. So this is good and it's bad, but this is what the whales are doing. So I think we need to mimic the whales more. I know a lot of you guys are new. I know a lot of you guys, I could see in the chat and the questions, all you look for is small caps. You're looking for a lottery ticket right away. But Bitcoin is that lottery ticket too. It may take longer, but you know what? Bitcoin is probably the surest lottery ticket out of all the altcoins out there. I mean, I know that's actually a fact. That's a fact. That's not opinion. That's a fact. So don't be sleeping on Bitcoin. Don't be sleeping on Bitcoin at all. So this is actually a real eye opener for me. I'm kind of disappointed to see all the retail investors basically go away while all the bitcoins being transferred to the big dogs. Right? We don't want that. You want to accumulate as much Bitcoin as you can while you still can. While you still can. All right. Now 50,000, 54,000, 55,000 may seem expensive. Well, just wait until it hits 100,000, and just wait until it hits 300,000 and 500,000. Then you go wish that you picked some up at $55,000. All right, so that's number one for Bitcoin. That main point I want to make. Also, a major Swiss retailer is set to debut Bitcoin gift cards. So those of you guys that are in Switzerland, I don't know if it's just exclusive to Switzerland, but there are now retailers that want to roll out Bitcoin vouchers and gift cards. It's in this the largest department store. I can't pronounce it, and there's 59 branches. So that's pretty positive. Vouchers will range anywhere from $107 to $535. So yeah, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. As you can see, adoption, awareness is growing. The very fact that they're coming out with this means that there's demand. Otherwise, who's going to buy Bitcoin vouchers or gift cards and there's no demand, right? So this is also very, very, very positive. All right, what else is there? Well, Coinbase. Coinbase valuation nears $100 billion near March listing. That's any day now. I don't know the exact date, but yeah, they're not going to do a traditional IPO. Basically, they're just going to sell it. They're going to sell their shares, the number of shares they want to sell on the open market. They're not going to try to bundle it for, exclusive. You have to be pre-qualified for IPO or anything like that. They're just going to sell it. But evaluations are nearing $100 billion. So it might even go higher than that. So this is huge. This is going to be probably the biggest IPO of this year. And seeing where Bitcoin is going, I think Coinbase, their stock, once they come out, they're going to skyrocket. Brian Armstrong is going to be one wealthy man. He's probably going to be in top 20 right away after this. But yeah, this has helped a lot of other projects, including exchanges like Coinbase. Coinbase, by volume, is actually much bigger. I'm sorry, Binance, including Binance. My fault. Binance by volume is much bigger than Coinbase, and they have much more presence, and they have their own chain. They have a dozen exchanges around, and yeah, they're much bigger. So that evaluation is going to help Binance Coin a ton. When that report first came out, Binance Coin pumped up quite a bit. It's at 43 billion, right behind Ethereum, so they're climbing up. And I don't think that's going to stop. If Coinbase is really valued at 100 billion, Binance Coin, Binance itself probably should be like 200 billion at the very least. And other exchange tokens also, like KuCoin token and Huobi and I know OKX. There's a lot of exchanges. Voyager, they all been going up too. So I think this is going to help the industry tremendously. And obviously it's going to help Coinbase. Well, I still get reports from people saying Coinbase support sucks. Their account gets locked out. They can't get it back for a few weeks, right? So hopefully that changes. Once they're a public trade company. There's a lot of stuff that they need to worry about a lot more, right? So this is coming. It'll be very, very exciting. All right. So what else is there? Well, Taco Bell, everyone's favorite Mexican restaurant, just sold a collection of fast food themes NFTs on Referral. So everyone is getting involved with NFTs right now. So I'm on their Referral page. So some of these are like going for crazy amounts here. Here's a ever crunching taco, and someone bidded two ETH on it, wrapped ETH, but that's a lot, man. What is that's like $3,700 for this GIF right here. And they're doing one of fives and stuff. So they're not even selling one. They're selling 5 of each one, and you can see here's a 0.51, 0.71. I mean, they're not insane money, but still they're doing something. They're doing something. So everyone is getting involved with NFTs. NFTs are definitely very, very, very hot right now. Very hot. Everyone is getting involved, from musicians to movie studios to sports leagues to popular restaurants. Yeah, I don't think it's going to stop. Now, speaking of NFTs, Binance doesn't want to miss this opportunity, so they just led a $2 million funding round for Open Ocean, which is one of the biggest NFT marketplaces out there. And you look at everyone else that participated. Yeah, they believe that NFTs are here to stay. So NFT marketplaces, they're definitely blooming right now. Guys like Open Ocean. All right, what else is there? Yeah, real quick, the top NFT plays listed on CMC. So if you look at like Chile's is on freaking fire. Freaking fire. Chile's is now above Engine, considered a number 2 NFT play. Theta is still up there by a large margin, but Theta is way beyond just NFTs. But Chile's is really on fire. Engine has been on fire. Decentraland, Flow, not so much. Flow is hard to get in the US. I think that's what's holding it back, but I think they're going to catch up in a big way. And then Wax, Origin Protocol, Ultra, Sandbox, these guys, man, they're all on fire. Fire right now. All right. Besides NFTs, what else? Ethereum is going to roll out Berlin upgrade with 4 improvement protocols. They don't really mean much. So you look at all these. Lowers the cost of mod X pre-compile. Increases certain gas costs. Well, that's not good. Introduces a new transaction type. Includes a transaction type with optional access list. So unless you're a developer, you're developing on Ethereum, it's really hard to understand what those mean. But the big one that everyone's waiting for is the Improvement Protocol 1559, which is greenlit for July, which may make Ethereum deflationary. So this could be a big thing. This is the one that everyone wants to know about, whether or not it gets approved. But still, this doesn't solve scalability altogether. But it will keep things more predictable, and it'll keep the token more deflationary, which is good at raising prices for ETH. All right. What else is there? I wanted to look at real quick. If you look at, I mentioned about Binance Coin and how it's come up in a big way. If you also look at some of these other projects, they are up in a big way. A lot of people asked about Venus, one I shared about before. They were a little weak. They're up a staggering 36% today. You know, you have 1inch that recently moved to Binance Chain. Ontology, I had no idea they're working on Binance Smart Chain, but like everyone is working on Binance Smart Chain. Even the graph. I think a lot of people missed this. I looked at it. Binance, the graph is now on Binance Smart Chain too. Well, not on it, but it adds support. And the graph also added support for many other blockchains like Polkadot, Solana, and now they're on Binance Smart Chain too. So the graph is definitely doing good things, and they're up 14%. So Binance Smart Chain stuff, PancakeSwap obviously up in a big way too, 18%. The biggest AMM out there on Binance Smart Chain. So Binance Smart Chain is doing good, and Binance Coin is doing good. So you don't want to sleep on BNB. Everything else, if you look at DeFi Station, you know, total locked in value nearing $11 billion. So you could see this is around their peak. They really didn't fall much from here. But if you look at DeFi Pulse in terms of DeFi projects on Ethereum, it's down from the peak of about 45.5 billion. So down a little bit. But a lot of these projects are coming up in a big way, especially Uniswap. Their market cap recently just jumped up like crazy. But the Uni tokens are also doing very well. Aave, Compound Maker. It's interesting to see that Compound now has more locked in value than Aave. That's really surprising. Compound also is coming out their own chain and stuff like that too. So all these guys are looking at layer 2 solutions or their own chains, or they're, you know, choosing to be compatible with another blockchain at this point. I think Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. All right, so before I get to Q&A, I have a new sponsor today, Ternoa, and just so happens, they're in the NFT space, but they're introducing something very unique, very unique. They're not completely done yet, but Ternoa is coming out with NFT marketplace, and they will be on Polkadot. So interesting. They chosen to use substrate. Basically, they're going to be on Polkadot, and because of that, they're able to have communication with basically any other Polkadot, chain out there. Now, if you go down, they're going to be doing a couple things unique. Number one is they're stressing that storage is complicated and they don't want to be bogged down by that. So they're going to be utilizing storage from some of the other big players in the industry. For example, Saya, Arweave, and Filecoin. Arweave is a project I covered slightly before. I got into their ICO before. They're doing very good things too. They're beyond storage, but you can't use them for storage. So that's number one. That they are going to be using some of the big, IPFS or decentralized storage players out there, rather than try to make this more complex. They're going to, of course, be concentrating on MTFs, and they're going to have this new privileges, and I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. They're built on Polkadot, and they're secured by Intel SGX, which I have no clue, but I guess Intel SGS has some kind of security for cryptography. I didn't know about. I have no idea. All right. So what they're really about and why they're really unique is the fact that they're coming out with this notion of time capsule. So I know what a time capsule is. I haven't seen it applied for NFTs. So there's obviously, as the name implies, it has to do with time, and there's certain things that you can do. First of all, you could just store it and retrieve at any time, or you could create like a date when you can open it, right? Like a real time capsule. You could set it for 10 days. You could set it for a year. You could set it for 50 years. I don't know why you would want to lock it in for 50 years, but you could do so. You could also give consent. So after a period of time, then someone, say you gift it to them and say, hey, you can't open it until this day, right? You could do that too. And at that day, they can open it unless you veto it and you don't allow them to do that. So you can do that also. And there's a death protocol. So in case you die, right, you could set this to automatically, give the permission to whoever you want access to this. So, and of course, there's a countdown. So that's what's really unique about Ternoa. They not only are they built on Polkadot and they're concentrated on NFT marketplace, but they have this time capsule that's built in, which is really unique, really unique. I can't even imagine all the things you could do with it. Looking at the Twitter, their NFT marketplace will be out by the end of the month, so that's pretty soon. That's very, very soon, in fact. And looking at this, they did have a pre-sale. The very first pre-sale was about 400,000. They had another sale that was not too long ago, I believe in the beginning of March, but I don't know how much they raised. But they're definitely an early project, but it seems like, they're ready for prime time soon once they release that NFT marketplace. All right, so that's Ternoa. If you're interested, all their links are in the description of this video. All right, let's do this. Let's do some Q&A. All right, I missed some super chats. I see a lot of you guys came from BitBoy's stream. Man, he must stream for a very long time. I don't know what time he starts. Juan says, thank you for the Flow tip from a few days ago. No problem. I mean, Flow is a fantastic NFT project. They have their own chain. The founders know what they're doing. They got some incredible partnerships. I think it's just right now it's kind of hard to buy in the US. That's really the only thing holding them back. Otherwise, they go fly. Lon, appreciate that. Vitaly asked about Digibyte and Siacoin. I'm neutral on both. Siacoin is obviously a storage play. It's kind of a crowded field. Digibyte, I don't know. Yeah, their livelihood depends on adoption, and I just don't see a lot of it right now. Pat asked about B Pro. I covered them recently as one of the ultra small caps. That's like a gem. I think they have huge potential. I mean, given that they're such a low cap, yeah, I mean, they have plenty of room to grow. But if you look at what they're trying to do with esports, with DeFi, with staking, white labeling the solution for others, and they're concentrating on making money rather than just, fluff. I think B Pro is actually a very good one. No asked, what is the most undervalued coin in your opinion? Nice to hear what you think about Finn. Those are probably too small. The most undervalued coin, there's so many. I've been covering a lot with you guys, but also covering a lot of new ones in Patreon, and I'm about to cover more. A lot of them are now, the ones I'm looking at, 50, 100, 150, 200 million. In this day and age, 200 million is still very early. I covered, like Luna when it was at like $2 or something, and that was already at like, 500 million market cap. And look at it now; it's gone up like 10x, right? Same thing with Pancake Swap. I covered them when it was like 100 million, 200 million, and now they're like $2 billion. So these days, even a project that's around 200 million. That's still considered early. There's still plenty of room to grow. So it's really hard to say what's the most undervalued because there's so many good ones out there. Antoine asks, you're being asked to choose 3 tokens of a 20x. It can't BTC. Choose, yeah, that's takes too long to answer. Check out my previous videos where I cover altcoins like NFTs. And recently I covered one about small cap gems. That answers that. Ethereum Chain released a Ali collection. I heard about that. I think that could be huge. Thoughts on Quant? Quant has always been good. They're catering to businesses, and they stuck around for quite a long time. You don't really hear much about them. They're really like below the radar. But if you look at their overall market cap, they have held really well. And not only that, they've been going up. So I think Quant is fine. Acoin, is that Acon coin? I know that that's supposed to be used in Africa, but I don't know what kind of adoption it has. I don't know if it's specifically for Nigeria. Where is it? Where can you even get it at? Oh man, why is this so slow? It's on Bittrex. Okay. Yeah, I don't know too much about this 10-minute. DC. Targets consumer crypto loans? Yeah, no. Looks like a DeFi play, but just too small. So maybe when it gets a little bit more traction. Potential Dent and Starlink collaboration. That would be huge. That would be a game changer for Dent. Because right now they're at the mercy of the wireless carriers. But if they could bypass all of them and just utilize Starlink, that would be great. But I don't know how that's going to work. Whether or not you can even get Starlink on your mobile phones. So if they could, then great. And if Starlink offers their own app, then they're competing with them. So I don't know how that's going to work. Sally, appreciate that. Ted, appreciate that. Algorand. The only thing I can say about Algorand is a lot of people making a big fuss about Algorand made a partnership with Curve, the custodian, and Curve got bought out by PayPal. And a lot of people think, well, essentially PayPal bought Algorand. I don't think that's the case at all. That was just a partnership. So I don't know what else is really going on with Algorand right now. Promising blockchain, but I don't hear much going on with it. I mentioned Energy Web token yesterday and VW today. Hitachi joined. Massive partnerships all the time. Well, let's see. I don't know what's going on with CMC. It's taking forever. Well, those massive partnerships didn't cause it to go up at all. It is on KuCoin though. I'll have to look at it. Didn't have a chance to look at it yet. There's a lot. I'll say this. I've been researching a lot of new coins projects on KuCoin. KuCoin has some good ones. You know, Binance usually steals like the top dogs, but now I'm noticing there's a lot of good projects. A lot of good projects that's on KuCoin exclusively. So you don't want to sleep on that exchange. Thoughts on Akash network? I think that's AKT, right? Yeah. I have no thoughts on it other than they need to prove that they can get clients on there. That's all. You know, they're in a space of trying to get people to utilize their cloud, right? To move their services from AWS and Azure. Until they can prove that they're reliable, you know, then it really means nothing. Will that hit $5 this year, or is that insane? Probably insane. They're not even. Yeah, no. 10x, yeah, 10x would be 60 cents. You know, 20x would be $1.20, $5. No, that's too insane. That's not realistic for this year. Now, beyond this year, could be, but this year, that's a little bit too much. Sensorium, never heard of them. Their chart looks like a bot chart. Then that's very fishy. Then that's probably when you don't want to look at it. Opinion to buy BTC now, can hold until October. I've always said just, you know, with Bitcoin you can't go wrong. Dollar cost average. You don't know top or bottom. You can never really guess it. But Bitcoin right now is the surest play. The safest and the biggest crypto. So dollar cost average. Florian asked, what about PancakeSwap? Do you think they'll develop further? I think so. PancakeSwap, I mean, even though they're a fork of Uniswap, they're doing well. They have a lot of people utilizing them. They have the network effect, especially on Binance Smart Chain. So I don't think they're going to go away anytime soon. Did you hear about cross-chain BTC ETH bridge through WAN chain? If you I mean, I looked at WAN chain slightly. They went all into DeFi, atomic swaps. Now that bridge you talked about, I don't know enough about what they're really trying to do other than they're trying to do DeFi, right? I don't know if they're white labeling or they're doing it themselves. I know that they formed a partnership with Orion, and yeah, I don't know too much about WAN chain these days. Woo Trade, I don't like. I hate their marketing. So as for exchanges, I think there's a lot of ones out there that you could utilize. Jordan, appreciate that. Trying to hit as much as I can. I don't want to leave anyone out. Uniswap is fine, VIP. You don't have to keep shilling it, keep asking it. When a project is top 10, it's fine. It's doing fine. You don't need to be worried about it. Other than if you're holding an XRP, and that's pretty much the only one that doesn't belong. Johnny Happy says, I left you out. I didn't see what you wrote. They all disappeared. I don't have much thoughts about Avalanche. Cody, on the other hand, I think I do like. I looked into them more, and I do think they have a pretty good project in terms of coming out, helping people come out with financial apps. Basically a white label solution for them to do that, and obviously get into DeFi, and they have a good team too. So I like Cody. Avalanche, not so much. I think there's other plays that excites me more. Crypto.com will be interesting once their chain comes out, what they're going to do with that. They already have really good traction. They pretty much do everything. Staking, lending, credit cards, everything. So their chain could be pretty big. Shadows Network, I did not have a chance to look at it. Someone mentioned about Shadows doing well. I remember I looked at their website. I didn't like the way the website looked. I know that seems like it's a silly thing to comment on the website, but I mean, it's a first impression, right? If you give people a horrible impression on what you're about through the page that they're supposed to learn about you, with it, that's pretty bad. I don't like Mainframe rebranded to Hi-Fi. I think that's like a last ditch effort for them. Kind of like WanChain. A lot of these projects are dead, so they kind of just like say, "Hey, let me go into DeFi since it's hot." That's not a way. That's not a way to get back traction. That's not good. BNT, I missed you last time. Bancor, they're like an old. I think they're an old lending project, right? I haven't, or a Dex. Yeah, they're old. Bancor's been around for a while, but I remember the way they do trading is different than Uniswap. It's more complex, which is why Uniswap took over, which is why Uniswap is much bigger. But Bancor, it looks like they're doing fine. 1.5 billion, they're not struggling at all. But I remember reading a little bit about how it actually works, and Uniswap is just easier to use than Bancor. That's the only thing. Can you talk about ADA for us holders? Is this taking a breather? Yeah, I've mentioned this before. Every time there's a big achievement coming up, or end of one of their roadmaps, steps, they pump up a lot and then they stall for a little bit. I mean, Cardano went up big within the last month, so you can't really complain that within the last week or so it stalled out. It's gone up like hundreds of percent. So yeah, it's probably gonna stay here for a little bit. I mean, it's not that it's bad. It's going up 4% today, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But every time like Shelly completed, it stalled out a little bit. Guggen completed. I think it completed. It pretty much completed. It's stalling out for a little bit, but it'll regain. It'll regain. Is $2 really a super chat? Not really, but I appreciate it. Chris, appreciate it. I think that's pretty much it, right? What else is there? Engine, how much upside this cycle? Engine is they're gonna be huge. Engine is already, where are they? Where did it go? Did I miss them? I think I missed them. I guess this is easier if you just click NFT. Yeah, Engine is already 1.5 billion. I think they have a lot of ways to go. They could be, 5 billion like Theta. Because they're leading, one of the leading NFT plays, and they have a lot going for them too. Besides just NFTs, they're coming out with a lot of creative stuff. So I think Engine is going to be pretty big. And plus, let's not forget, they had this partnership with Samsung too. Supposedly the Samsung wallet, the key store, was developed by Engine. And that may further, there might be further development on that, right? We know that Apple Pay and Samsung, they're all looking at like wallets, and it could be, rather than develop their own, they could just utilize one of these existing wallets. So Engine also has a good universal wallet too. Should I panic about Cosmos? Why? Why should you panic about it? Loopring is already an existing L2 solution, one of the first to do it, but hasn't getting because they're layer 2 solution for DEXs mostly, not as far as I understand. They were a DEX protocol, so their layer 2 is meant for DEXs. But all these DEXs now, they figured out how to utilize another layer 2, or they developed their own, or they moved to a chain where layer 2 is not needed. So Loopring, I mean, they're not bad, but they're kind of stuck with this product that not a whole lot of people are using. That's the problem. Reserve rights, I actually don't know too much about reserve rights. Can't really comment too much about it. VeThor, I just hold VET. I'd much rather hold VET than VeThor. Because VET is, VET is deflationary. VeThor is not. So I'd rather hold something that there's a set supply and it's deflationary than one that, there's inflation built in. Do you think top NFTs are too late to get in? What makes you think they're too late to get in? Do you think Bitcoin topped out? Do you think Bitcoin is going to stay at 54,000 forever? If so, then yeah, then they probably hit a top. But if you think Bitcoin's going to go much higher, then why would you think that any of these projects have topped out and it's too late to get in? So that's the easiest way to think about it. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Overall today, pretty good day. Pretty exciting day, right? Bitcoin was 54,000, a little bit above. Right now it's a little bit below, but I don't think anyone's complaining. We have finally broken through that 51, that 52 barrier. Now we're above, right? So things are looking pretty good. But the main point I want to make is, even though, yes, altcoins are exciting, NFTs, DeFi, they're all exploding. This chart concerns me a little bit because it shows that the whales, they're doing the right thing. They're accumulating Bitcoin slowly. Regardless of there's up and downs, price or whatever, they just keep buying and buying, which is why these large orders keep going up. Yet the retail orders, the small amounts, keep decreasing, right? So I think that's disappointing. Retail investors coming in, think that Bitcoin's too large, you can't grow fast enough, and this and that. Well, I think that's wrong. I still think a well-diversified portfolio is the best way to do it. 50% Bitcoin at least, 50% in altcoins. That way, you have some stability. Bitcoin still has a lot of room to grow, right? And if the altcoins do go up in a big way, great. They'll help carry your portfolio. But man, you do not want to ignore Bitcoin. You do not want to ignore Bitcoin, right? All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Tune in tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.